Welcome to our channel. We are so grateful that you're here. Today you're about to journey with us, not just through history, but through sacred memory. We will travel through the ancient gods of Africa, the divine beings they tried to erase, the spirits who never truly left. Together we will unravel the truth, awaken the stories that were buried, and remember the names that still whisper in the wind. So stay with us, because this is not just a video, it is a return. A return to the wisdom of the ancestors, the strength of the forgotten gods, and the sacred knowledge they still carry. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because the journey has just begun. Thank you for being here. They told you Africa had no gods worth remembering. They said the people of this land worshipped shadows, feared nature, and danced around empty idols. They painted the continent as a wilderness, where men and women bowed to spirits that did not exist. But they never told you that long before their ships touched the shore, Africa already knew the sky, the earth, the rivers, the stars, and the divine beings who ruled them. They never told you that Africa had gods who spoke, who walked, who blessed, who judged, gods who watched over the living and remembered the dead, gods who were never silent until they were silenced. They never told you about Chukwu, the infinite source of the Igbo, who existed before the first dawn and breathed life into all things. They never whispered of Nyame, the Akan sky god, who retreated to the heavens but left his sacred spirits to govern the earth. They did not mention Oshun, the Yoruba goddess of sweet waters, whose laughter brings life and whose tears can cause floods. They did not tell you of Nana Asase Ya, the earth mother who holds the dead and gives birth to the living. They erased the stories of Sango, the thunderous king who commands lightning, and Amadioha, who strikes down liars and protects the innocent. They buried the names of Mami Wata, the spirit of the deep waters who grants wealth and healing, and Agwu, the Igbo spirit of wisdom, chaos, and prophecy. But why? Why were these gods hidden, their stories turned to whispers, their altars burned, their names turned into curses? Was it because those who came to conquer knew that a people who remember their gods cannot be easily enslaved? Was it because they feared that beneath the stories of Africa's gods was a knowledge older than the pyramids, deeper than the oceans, and more powerful than any sword? Was it because they understood that the quickest way to erase a people is to erase their gods, to make them forget the sacred names that once gave them courage, wisdom, and protection? But today we remember. Today we speak the forgotten names. Today we listen again to the stories that the ancestors carried in whispers, in songs, in dreams. These gods are not dead. They are not gone. They are waiting, in the earth, in the water, in the sky, and in the memory of those who dare to remember. Above the earth, where the clouds drift like ancient spirits, where the stars weave silver paths across the darkness, the sky gods rule. Silent, powerful, eternal. They are not the gods who walk among mortals, nor the spirits who dance in the forest. They are the architects, the overseers, the origin of everything that breathes and moves. To the people of Africa, the sky has never been empty. It has always been a throne, and on that throne sit the divine rulers who watch, who judge, who give life and take it away. Among the Igbo there is Chukwu, the supreme being, the infinite source, the one who exists before existence. His name means the Great Spirit, and his power is absolute. Chukwu is not seen. He is not drawn. He is felt. He is the giver of chi, the personal spirit, the spark of life that every soul carries. No one can change their chi, for it is the gift of Chukwu himself. And though he sits above the sky, unreachable and silent, his presence is everywhere. In the rising sun, in the rain that feeds the fields, in the heartbeat of those who pray for truth. To invoke Chukwu is to speak directly to the highest, to ask for justice that no man can deny, to seek mercy that no enemy can steal. In the Akan tradition, there is Nyame, the luminous one, the sky god who gave life to the world and then withdrew. They say that in the beginning, Nyame lived close to the people, so close that they could touch the sky with their hands. But when they lost reverence, when they forgot the sacred, Nyame rose higher, beyond their reach. Yet even in his silence he did not abandon them. He left the Abazum, his lesser spirits, to watch over the rivers, the forests, the mountains. Nyame became distant, but never absent. He is the light of the sun, the voice in the thunder, the breath of the wind. And in Yoruba cosmology, there is Olorun, the Lord of the heavens, the source of Ace, the divine energy that animates all things. Olorun is not worshipped in temples, for the entire sky is his shrine. His presence is in the silence between the stars, in the force that moves the Orisha, the divine spirits who work under his command. Olorun does not interfere, for he is perfection. He is the law that does not bend, the light that does not fade. In the land of the Dogon, there is Amma, the cosmic architect, the father of the stars. Amma is not just a god of the sky. He is the sky. He is the rhythm of creation, the sacred vibration that brought the universe into existence. It is said that Amma's breath gave birth to the Nomo, the water spirits who descended to teach humanity. His knowledge is not just divine, it is cosmic. The Dogon speak of Sirius, a star they have known for centuries, a star invisible to the naked eye, but described perfectly by those who received Amma's wisdom. These sky gods are not jealous. They do not demand sacrifice. They do not strike without cause. They are the silent witnesses of existence, the keepers of balance, the ones who see all, who know all, who wait, patient, eternal, beyond the reach of time. To know them is to know that the world is not chaos. It is order. It is governed by a power too vast for human minds to fully grasp. And though they do not walk the earth, their presence is in every breath. These are the gods of the sky, infinite, silent, and sacred. The earth is not just soil, it is memory, it is spirit, it is life. To the people of Africa, the ground beneath their feet is not dead matter. It is the living body of the divine feminine. It is the cradle of the ancestors, the source of medicine, the place where life begins and where it returns. The earth is sacred, and the gods of the earth are not distant rulers. They are present, alive, and breathing in every leaf, every stone, every whisper of the wind. Among the Akan of Ghana, there is Nana Asase Ya, the Earth Mother. Her body is the soil that feeds. Her breath is the wind that cools. Her voice is the thunder that warns. Nana Asase Ya is not just a goddess of fertility. She is the source of all life that grows, the judge of the dead who are buried in her arms. Farmers pray to her before planting, for to disrespect her is to invite famine. To shed innocent blood upon her soil is a curse. And though she is a mother, she is not weak. Her patience is vast, but her justice is swift. In Yoruba spirituality, there is Aja, the goddess of the forest and herbs, the healer who walks unseen among the trees. She is the mother of all medicine, the whisperer of secrets that heal the body and calm the soul. Herbalists speak of Aja as their guide, for she teaches them not just which leaves cure, but which ones poison. She is not found in grand temples, but in the shade of sacred groves, where the air is thick with her wisdom. Those who seek her must come with humility, for the forest is her temple, and she sees all who enter. To the Sand people of southern Africa, there is Twigoab, a powerful being who walks between the earth and sky, a shapeshifter who can appear as a great healer or a fearsome storm. Twigoab is the god of rain, the protector of life, and the judge of those who misuse the gifts of nature. He is a god of transformation, his presence felt in the changing seasons, his voice heard in the thunder that rolls across the plains. But not all nature gods are gentle. There is Shango, the stormbringer of the Yoruba, whose thunder shakes the earth and whose lightning splits the trees. His presence is not a blessing, it is a warning. And there is Agwu, the Igbo spirit of divination, chaos, and healing, a force that brings both madness and wisdom. For those who master him gain the sight of the seer, while those who misuse his power are consumed by it. These gods do not need temples of stone. Their shrines are the rivers, the forests, the mountains, the sky. They speak not in written words, but in wind and rain, in fire and earth. They teach that nature is not a resource to be conquered. It is a living, breathing presence that must be honored. And those who forget this are reminded, through droughts that wither crops, storms that crush homes, and plagues that rise from the soil. To know the gods of the earth is to remember that you are not separate from nature. You are a part of it. The earth is not beneath you. It is around you. It is above you. It is within you. And those who walk in disrespect will find that nature is patient, but never blind. These are the gods of the earth, sacred, silent, and always watching. Water is life. It is the first breath in the womb, the first taste of sweetness on a newborn's lips, the rain that feeds the fields, the river that carries dreams. In African spirituality, water is not just a liquid. It is a sacred force, a living spirit. And in those waters dwell the great mothers, the divine goddesses who give, who nurture, who protect, and who punish. They are not just reflections of nature. They are the mothers of creation itself. Among the Yoruba, there is Oshun, the goddess of sweet waters, of rivers that dance, of love, fertility, beauty, and healing. Oshun is not just a goddess of joy. She is the embodiment of sweetness, of the gentle force that makes life worth living. But her sweetness is not weakness. Her love is not naive. It is said that when the world was first created, the Orishas, the divine spirits, tried to shape it without her. They built mountains, they dug rivers, but nothing grew. Life refused to bloom. Only when Oshun poured her sacred waters upon the earth did it come alive. Yet those who betray her kindness learn that water can also drown. Her tears can become floods. Her smile can become a storm. Those who lie in her name, those who betray her love, will taste the bitterness of a river that turns against them. Beyond the rivers of Yoruba land, there is Yemaya, the great mother of the ocean, the one who cradles the earth in her waves. Yemaya is not just a goddess of the sea. She is the womb of the world, the mother of all life. Sailors pray to her before setting out, for her waves can carry or consume. Mothers call upon her in childbirth, for her waters bring life, but can also claim it. She is both gentle and fierce, and beneath her blue waves swim the secrets of the soul. It is said that when you stand at the shore and listen to the waves, you are hearing the heartbeat of Yemaya. Further west, across the coasts of West Africa, there is Mami Wata, the great water spirit, worshipped in countless forms. She appears as a beautiful woman, adorned with pearls, her hair flowing like water, her smile as dangerous as it is seductive. Mami Wata is a goddess of wealth, of healing, of mystery. Those who honor her find prosperity, protection, and wisdom. But those who disrespect her find their fortunes drowned. Sailors tell stories of seeing her rise from the waves, her laughter echoing across the sea, her eyes watching like silver moons. Among the Dogon of Mali, there are the Nomo, sacred water spirits, the children of the great sky god, Amma, who descended to earth and taught humanity. The Nomo are not just spirits of the sea. They are the bringers of knowledge, the carriers of sacred wisdom, and the keepers of cosmic secrets. They are the teachers of sacred symbols, the guardians of the deep. These water gods are not simply benevolent. They are balance. They give life, but they can also take it. They are the source of joy, but they can become wrath. To honor them is to honor life itself. To forget them is to forget your own soul. For water is not just a resource. It is spirit. It is memory. It is mother. These are the sacred mothers of life, the goddesses who flow, who heal, who drown, who remember. Fire is not just destruction, it is transformation. It is the spark that brings warmth, the flame that forges metal, the light that shatters darkness. In African spirituality, fire is sacred because it is a force of truth. It reveals, it purifies, it judges. It is the breath of the gods who do not simply watch, they act. And when they act, nothing remains the same. Among the Yoruba, there is Sango, the god of thunder, lightning, fire, and raw, divine justice. Sango is not just a god. He is a king, a warrior, a force of nature. His voice is the thunder that shakes the sky. His power is the lightning that strikes with precision. He is not patient like the waters, nor quiet like the earth. He is passion, power, and pride. The stories say that Sango was once a great king, a ruler whose strength was so fierce that even the heavens recognized his might. But his pride led to his downfall, and in death, he became a god, the god of thunder and retribution. His followers wear red, dance with axes, and call upon him in times of conflict. For Sango is not just a god of war, he is a god of truth. Those who lie under his name invite his wrath. Those who swear false oaths in his presence call his lightning to strike. But Sango is not the only master of divine fire. Among the Igbo, there is Amadioha, the thunder god, the enforcer of moral law. Amadioha is the voice of justice, the force that strikes down liars, betrayers, and the wicked. His symbol is the white ram. His domain is the sky, and his justice is swift. It is said that when thunder crashes on a clear day, Amadioha has spoken. When a guilty man swears his innocence under Amadioha's name, his punishment is not long delayed. Amadioha is not easily pleased, but he is never unfair. His fire is not chaos, it is law. But not all fire gods are judges. Some are creators. In Kemet, the ancient land of Egypt, there is Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of war, plague, and healing. Sekhmet is a goddess of paradox. She brings death to those who challenge Ma'at, the divine order, but she also heals the sick, cures the plague, and grants life to those who honor her. Her breath is a desert wind, her eyes are flames, and her roar can shake the mountains. Kings called upon her for victory, healers invoked her for strength, and those who crossed her path knew that fire can both bless and burn. In Igbo cosmology, there is Agu, the spirit of wisdom, divination, and chaos. Agu is not a god of destruction, but a force of transformation. Those who are called by Agu become diviners, healers, seers, but only after facing madness, trials, and visions. Agu does not choose the comfortable. He chooses the strong. Those who master his fire gain sight beyond sight. Those who fail are consumed by their own mind. The gods of fire are not to be played with. They are not easily pleased. They are not here to comfort. They are here to change, to judge, to burn away falsehood, to test the soul, to reveal what is true. Fire is not just a flame. It is spirit. It is power. It is the force that shapes iron and the breath that gives life. These are the gods of fire, fierce, unyielding, and forever transforming. Death is not an ending. It is a doorway. It is a return. In African spirituality, the dead are not gone. They are transformed. They are elevated. They become the ancestors, the silent guardians who walk beside their children, the invisible witnesses who protect the living, the keepers of wisdom who speak in dreams. The ancestors are not just spirits. They are family. They are the root beneath the tree, the breath in the wind, the memory that refuses to die. In the lands of the Yoruba, they are known as Egungun, the masked ancestors who dance at sacred festivals, who bless and judge, who bring messages from beyond. To watch the Egungun dance is not just to see a performance. It is to stand in the presence of the dead who have returned. Clad in flowing robes, their faces hidden, their voices altered, the Egungun are not just dancers. They are the ancestors themselves, moving among the living, blessing the righteous and warning the wayward. Among the Igbo, they are Ndi Ichie, the wise elders, the ancient spirits who guide and protect. The Ndi Ichie are the ones who walked the earth before, who faced battles, who led clans, who blessed fields. They are not forgotten. Libations are poured for them. Prayers are whispered to them. In times of crisis, the elders consult them, for their wisdom does not end with death. It grows. And those who honor the ancestors find strength. Those who forget them find loneliness. In Akan spirituality, they are the Nsamanfo, the ancestral spirits who dwell in the land of the dead but are never far. They are the ones who receive the libations poured upon the earth, who listen to the prayers whispered at dawn, who protect families and bless children. To dishonor them is to dishonor your own soul, for it is said that without the blessing of the Nsamanfo, a family cannot prosper. But the ancestors are not always seen in rituals. Sometimes they are felt. In a dream where a long-dead grandmother speaks. In a sudden instinct that saves you. In a whisper that pulls you away from danger. They come not just to protect, but to guide. They are the keepers of the family line, the ones who ensure that the living do not forget who they are. But the ancestors are not simply benevolent. They can bless, but they can also correct. To betray family, to dishonor tradition, to reject the sacred is to invoke their judgment. For the ancestors are not just memories. They are witnesses. They see what is done in secret. They protect those who walk with honor, but they turn away from those who forget their own blood. In African spirituality, to live well is to walk with your ancestors. To pour libation is not superstition. It is a connection. To speak their names is not just tradition. It is power. Because the ancestors never left. They are the silent strength behind every prayer, the wisdom in every proverb, the courage in every battle. These are the ancestral guardians, the spirits who never died. When the colonizers arrived, they did not come only for land. They came for the soul. They did not just bring swords, guns, and chains. They brought crosses, doctrines, and holy books. They came not only to conquer bodies, but to conquer spirits. They saw the altars in the forests, the drums that spoke to the heavens, the dances that called the ancestors, and they feared them. They saw not just idols, but power, a power they did not understand, a power they could not control, and so they chose to destroy it. They called the gods of Africa demons. They called the ancestors devils. They called the sacred rituals witchcraft. They did not seek to understand. They sought to erase. They marched into sacred groves, tore down the shrines, and built churches on their ashes. They seized the sacred masks of the Egungun and burned them, calling them the faces of evil. They destroyed the altars of Nana Asasi Ya, calling them places of darkness. They tore down the sacred groves of Oshun and replaced them with plantations. The sacred rivers were polluted. The sacred mountains were desecrated. They cast out the priestesses and priests, calling them sorcerers. They forced the children to bow to a foreign god while shaming them for calling on the names of their own. But the destruction was not just physical. It was spiritual. They taught the children to fear their own ancestors, to hate their own names, to mock their own gods. They replaced the stories of Chukwu, Nyame, and Olorun with tales of foreign saints. They taught that the sacred rivers were cursed, that the forest spirits were demons, that the drums were the voice of the devil. They did not just rewrite history, they erased memory. And they planted a poison, a shame, a self-hate, a fear of the sacred that lasted for generations. And yet, they did not understand that spirit cannot be killed. The gods were not destroyed, they were buried. The ancestors were not silenced, they whispered. The priestesses who were cast out did not vanish. They became midwives, healers, herbalists, teaching their daughters in secret. The gods hid in stories, in songs, in dances, in dreams. The rivers still carried the names of the sacred. The mountains still remembered the whispers of the wind. And the children who were told to forget dreamed of the old gods without knowing their names. The colonizers tried to silence the gods because they understood a truth they could not admit, that a people who remember their gods cannot be easily enslaved, that a child who knows that they walk with the ancestors cannot be easily broken, that a people who understand that the earth is sacred cannot be easily uprooted. But the gods were patient. The ancestors were patient. They waited in the silence. They waited in the soil. They waited in the memory. And now, they rise. The silence is breaking. Slowly, powerfully. The gods who were buried are rising again, not with thunder and flame, but with whispers. Not with vengeance, but with memory. Across Africa and its scattered children in the diaspora, people are beginning to dream again. They are beginning to remember. Young ones who were never taught the names of the gods are feeling a pull towards sacred rivers, towards ancient trees, towards stories their grandparents were too afraid to share. The gods are not gone. They never left. They are awakening, because we are ready to listen. The ancestors watch. They watch in the flicker of the candle flame. They listen in the whispered prayers over water. They speak in the dreams of those who dare to ask. And what they want you to know is this: you were never alone. Even when the shrines were burned, even when the sacred groves were cut down, even when the names of the gods were cursed, they were there. They watched. They waited. Because they understood something the colonizers did not. That truth cannot be killed. It can be silenced. It can be buried, but it cannot die. They want you to know that your soul is older than the maps they drew, older than the flags they planted, older than the chains they forged. You are not just a child of the earth. You are a child of the divine. The gods of your ancestors are not demons. They are not curses. They are the rivers that still flow, the mountains that still stand, the stars that still watch. They are the whispers in your blood, the strength in your bones, the courage in your spirit. They want you to know that African spirituality is not dead. It is not witchcraft. It is not madness. It is the first science, the first philosophy, the first poetry. It is the understanding that spirit is not a thing to be feared, but a force to be honored. That the earth is not a resource, but a mother. That the ancestors are not ghosts, but guardians. This is what the ancestors still want you to know. That the gods never left. They simply waited for you to remember. To speak their names again. To walk with your head high, knowing that you are not lost. That you are seen. That you are protected. If this story awakens something in you, do not let it fade. Like this video. Share it. Subscribe. And remember, the gods are not forgotten. They are remembered in you.